Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. A little bit of Friday All Dodgers live for you. How you guys doing? What is going on? Clint Nation, as we say here occasionally. I kind of stopped saying it for a little bit, but how you guys doing? Yeah, we're discussing the fallout from the Dodgers looking real bad in the series against the Diamondbacks. We're talking about my voice being a little bit of a struggle bus right now. James Outman will be back with the Dodgers as the Dodgers continue to deal with another injury. Jason Heyward out with a knee thing. We'll figure out more about that during the show. Overreactions, they're here on a Friday. Obviously, the Dodgers lose back-to-back series with the Giants and the Diamondbacks. Fans have some things to say. So that Brewers series preview and a whole lot more on another Friday edition of All Dodgers Live. If you guys see Kevin at the kids table over there, let's do that. Instead of the kids table, I'll put you up on the screen. Appreciate you joining me for an impromptu Friday show. But how you doing after an ugly D-back series and after hopefully all fingers still intact 4th of July?
All fingers are intact, although I don't really have feeling in my pinkies right now, which is unfortunate. I think it has something to do with the antibiotics. I had a weird relapse. I felt great up until Wednesday night, and then I had some gross symptoms pop back up. Feeling better right now, but yeah, all fingers are intact. Got to basically miss everything about that Diamondback series, except for every time Christian Walker hit a homer. Then my phone blew up.
Christian Walker, that dude is a revelation when it comes to playing the Dodgers. When it comes to playing the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, he just knows how to hit there. And then afterwards, it seems like he almost always immediately goes into a slump after that Dodgers high. But guys, I see people hanging out in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Let's bring the chat in right here. Ivy Strokin is here. Diane Schroeder is here. Craig Osterberg, a lot of the regulars. Showtime LA, a lot of the friends that hang out with us on the Discord server as well. It's getting bigger. People joining, people hanging out. Richard Flores, of course, Trey B, talking about Justin, a little bit of getting a little ahead of ourselves, but the Dodgers are reportedly set to welcome top pitching prospect or a top pitching prospect, Justin Wrobleski. Am I saying it right? Because this is one of those guys I was hoping they wouldn't call up, just so I didn't have to say the name. Yeah. But
no, I think it'll be good. It'll be good to see him. When we get to that topic, it'll be good.
Our friend, go ahead. What do you got?
I wanted to pull up some Christian Walker stuff since we just talked about it.
All right, while you're talking Christian Walker, I'm just gonna be here.
Yeah. So funny enough, Dodger Stadium isn't even where he performs best as a stadium, as a field. He performs better at Globe Life. He has 8 games there with a 1.199 OPS. The thing with at Dodger Stadium is it's 40 games there with a 1.184, and then he also performs well at Coors. So he performs best against the Rockies if you're looking at opponents. So that was a wild series. He doesn't even perform against the Dodgers overall. He doesn't even perform that much better he's 11% better against his own averages. He's only 11% better against the Dodgers than he is every other team. But against the Guardians and the Rockies, he's significantly better.
I guess when we see it as often as we do, it just really freaking stands out. And he can hit all he wants as long as the Dodgers are winning series or winning games, but that's not what happened in this particular situation. I appreciate folks in the chat, by the way, getting us the Jason Heyward update that just dropped. We'll talk about that in a second, but it is a knee contusion. Dodged a bullet, as Dave Roberts said. Shohei Teoscar, season 2024 in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Talking about the video that upset Kevin a little bit earlier just because they posted it. But Miguel Vargas taking ground balls at third base. Let's pin that. Let's talk first. Guys, you know what I got to tell you when we're close to the top of the show. I got to tell you that BetOnline is your number one source for all of your sports betting needs this season, from baseball to golf, soccer, right on up to the top fights in UFC and MMA and boxing. Everything is there. Every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads while games are being played, right there on BetOnline. When the game's over, head on over to their online casino. Get in on a game of blackjack. Get in on a game of poker. Play one of the over 150 Slot games. That's a lot of slot games. So you got a lot of options. You can play those. Head to the website today. Get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for a 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here, and we should probably get into what's wrong with these Dodgers right now. The show starts now. Fallout from this series against the Diamondbacks just don't look good. Back-to-back series where this team does not look good. Giants, I don't know if we want to say two lucky innings or however you want to say it, but the Dodgers are two lucky innings away from being swept in back-to-back series. They have the big 7-run inning last Saturday against the Giants, and then Diamondbacks, the bang, 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 away from being swept by the Diamondbacks. Dodgers outscored 26-13. Dave Roberts said it's not pretty what we're seeing right now. I know you said you didn't see a whole lot of that Diamondback series, but you've seen enough of when the Dodgers.
I caught the highlights and all that.
And it's like when you've seen enough when the Dodgers are struggling like this. Like what's your gut telling you right now?
So I don't think it's unlucky when the games they won. I do think this offense is good enough to kind of be, as Thanos would say, inevitable. You can only keep them down for so long. It made sense that, once they got deep into that Giants bullpen that they blew up for 7 runs. I think, honestly, against Paul Sewald, I don't even think that was luck. I think, they had a good approach. It was the guys you wanted it to be. It was Will Smith. It was Freddie. It was Teoscar. If they had gone, if it was, Rojas, Barnes, Lux, I would say there's a little bit of luck involved there. But with the guys that actually did the damage against Sewald, I don't think it's too much luck. I actually think they put together some at-bats. Honestly, I don't leave this too much in the hands of the offense. I leave a lot of it on the pitching. When you're going blow for blow, punch for punch, you get a lead, it goes away. You get another lead, it goes away. That's tough to consistently come back from. And,
that was one of the things. Go ahead.
At a point, it's just, especially on Sunday, yesterday, at a point, it's just stop pitching to Christian. If they just don't pitch to Christian Walker yesterday, they win the game. Entirely, they win the game. So,
well, I mean, by the end of it, it's pretty, embarrassing, blown out.
At that point, they were already just throwing arms out there because they didn't need to be competitive. So,
when the game was maybe within striking distance. No one to hold him, no one to fold him, no one to walk Christian Walker, and that might be something the Dodgers should consider a little bit more frequently. That's not; those aren't the original lyrics. I embellished a little bit. But
Richard Flores with a $4.99 super chat.
Let's go, Rich.
Saying Dodgers are going down, then Kardashian family values. Dave praising Walker in the postgame was disgusting and a kick in the balls to the fan base. Look, Dave doesn't do a lot of cap tipping. When a guy comes in, hits 5 jacks off you in 3 games, you just kind of have to tip your cap. And like I said, you'd like them to just not pitch to him at a point, but when a guy puts up that performance,
listen, I'm gonna. It's a Friday. I told you we're doing a show very late. I'm gonna go ahead and pass over the fact that you said jacks off you in that sequence there.
Yeah.
But
I'll beat you off with both hands.
Showtime LA saying the bullpen has been unbelievably taxed, and that's the thing. You mentioned the pitching as well. Austin Barnes, Dodgers legend. He mentioned in the post game yesterday, it's just kind of the struggle with the pitching right now, and even Dave through his, it's not pretty what we're seeing right now. There is this constant, restarting the battle and the uphill fight and all this. When you get a lead, it's getting handed back pretty damn quickly, and it's not just this recent immediate stretch of 6 games or the last 30. So hat tip to my boy Blake Harris for this one. Dodgers 20-18 over their last 38 since May 21st. 14th best record in baseball. Very, very mid team, but we also know a pretty damn injured team. So I wonder, this is my thing right now. It's this is a team that as much as we want every Dodger to be an all-star and all that, maybe this is a team that needs a break Maybe they need to everybody needs to go their separate ways. These are only humans. This is baseball season is a lot.
It's a long,
It is a lot. 160 games over, what is it, 180 some odd, 183 days. These dudes want a break. They want to go home. They want to like just sleep in and hang out with the dogs and the family, or go on a vacation or something like that. At the same time, or in that same breath, like along with wanting a break, they need a break. They need a break, particularly on the pitching side. And this was something we talked a little bit about, I think, on Tuesday. Maybe I talked about it as well on Monday. But it's coming more to the forefront of the issues for this team. And the pitching staff, they're all like reaching or nearing innings limits or career highs in innings. And usually somebody like, if we're talking about 121 with Tyler Glasnow, who gets to start on Friday, with Glasnow, today, sorry, with Glasnow, he would have like the break. As Michael Carrillo says, you can't use the injuries as an excuse. No, I think it's not an excuse, it's a causation. If you're down a Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you're having other guys in situations they shouldn't be in. And if they're always needing to pick up, Landon Knack, as good as he's been this year, he shouldn't be the number 5 guy right now. He's probably not there. And if he goes out and throws up a stinker, or if Gavin Stone, who, we're as great as he's been, this is still kind of new territory for Stoner. As great as he's been, he's going to have a few stinkers in there. He also is nearing his kind of innings, max since he's had, since he's been a professional. Last year he threw 131 innings. I think he's now at 95 or something like that. So he's getting there, but this is, start to finish. There hasn't been a break. With Glasnow in the past, he's had the injuries that's kind of like broken up his season a little bit, So these guys are tired. They're getting tired. And, we had hoped heading into the season, and Kevin, you know this because we talked a whole bunch about it as well in the early months of the season. We were always waiting for and expecting to see the 6-man rotation. Having the struggles of Walker Buehler, I don't think this team was ready for that. And then losing Yoshinobu Yamamoto, every time they're about to get there and really be able to give the staff some break, some length, and all that kind of stuff, it just keeps not working out. So they need help. We mentioned the kid, Justin Wrobleski, coming up. That's another one where, thankfully, the Dodgers have a day off on Monday. But, right away, it's like, I just realized, first time I've really looked at you, I saw the hat. It's the hat I alluded to. I talked about it. It's the hat.
It's a sick hat.
It's okay.
I will hear nothing about. I will hear no slander. This logo is sick.
That's okay.
And everybody can. I will die on the hill that this is the best thing to come out of the City Connect. Is this logo? It is very cool.
Yeah, you're saying that's when I got to wear the hat when we hit. What is it? 8K?
The next 1,000 mark. Whatever.
Okay. We're getting close. 7. By the way, we're getting super close to 7K, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet already, please do. We'd appreciate it. I think this is the button. There's the right button. Hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up in the chat if you want the Dodgers to stop sucking butt for fun, or to start sucking butt for fun. And I don't know. Just talk. You take.
That was worse than what I said.
Well, mine was intentional. Yeah, I mean, this is a team that it needs some help, and it's not going to come, it's not going to come from the minor leagues right now. I don't think it's going to be internal. We talked a little bit about it. Now, just a couple days later, from our last stream, it's like, man, this team really, really needs a trade for a grown-up.
That was you told me to get an overreaction, and that was going to be my overreaction. Is this team needs to trade for somebody now. They have a fairly difficult schedule coming up. You have 3 against the Brewers. I know the Phillies are hurt, but it's still the Phillies. Their pitching's intact. You get a little bit of respite against the Tigers, but they have good pitching as well. Then you play the Red Sox, who are surging. Back to the Giants for 4. You're in Houston against the Astros, also surging. And then you end the month heading into the trade deadline in San Diego. That's a tough month coming up to have the roster they do. And it's something where last night, when you have, in some order, I don't remember it, when you have what was it? Heyward, Kike, CT3, Lux, and Barnes. That shouldn't even be an option for Dave to write on a piece of paper. That lineup was horrible, and it's not Dave's fault because he's playing what he's putting the guys he's got available. Not blaming Dave, but those should not be names that he can write on a lineup card. This team needs to trade for somebody now. They have a 6.5 game lead. If they continue to play like they're playing against the teams that are coming up, that lead is going to dwindle quick or just entirely disappear because the Padres are playing good baseball.
Yeah.
So they desperately need to trade for. I would like an outfielder because you can sort of limp with the infield, but they need an outfielder still, and they need to get a little bit better bench depth. We talked about that with Yumi Scott, but you don't need to rehash that. But they need to make a trade, and now we can't just hope in 30 days that this is going to get better.
Yeah, no, this is at that point now where we said 2 weeks ago we have a month to really see what this team is made out of, to see how they can respond in the post Mookie Betts, or in the current Mookie Betts injury time and Yamamoto injury time. They started out okay, but still, like, even leading up to that point, like, Mookie wasn't doing all that great. Yamamoto had the great start against the Yankees, but was kind of like, had not clunkers, but maybe he was showing some signs of wear and tear a little bit in there. Point is, it was already starting to trend. Like, okay, we know they need some help, particularly with how long Max Muncy has been out. And let's talk about, all the pieces that they continue to be missing. The Pistons, we're pissed that they are missing.
He did what with his cup?
Pissing, or that they're pissing some missing pieces. There it is, nailed it. But we learn this week, Max Muncy expected to be out even longer. Not terribly surprising, but Dave Roberts this week, I think yesterday, said, well, after the All-Star break for a Muncy return, Muncy's still feeling some soreness in there. You do have concern. You do have some worry about that. And for me, and now today, seeing, Miguel Vargas starting to take some ground balls at third base, that tells me that as much as we want Miggy Vargas in the lineup, that's not your answer to a championship club. That's just not. He can be a complimentary piece. He could be a bench piece right now. But if you're having this guy who hasn't played third base in a year and a half, a season and a half.
They didn't even like it when he played it a year and a half
ago. They didn't like it. They moved it to second base. They didn't like that either. Moved it to left field, and he hasn't been very, very good in left field. He's been passable. He's a co-ed slow pitch, outfielder or something like that. He can get the job done a little bit there. But, to me, that's kind of foreboding. I think them seeing Miggy Vargas taking some third base, some grounders at third base. Maybe the Muncy situation was re-aggravated. Maybe that means no Muncy. Now we go back to what we talked about 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, where we're like, this team needs a third baseman. As much as they also need an outfielder, they need an infielder who can play some third, play some second, and maybe even play some outfield. But if they do, if they get a third baseman, then you can have Chris Taylor out and left again or whatever. You can kind of help your outfield. Not that any of these are good. This is not good. No. I think the ultimate through line of this should be none of these options that are currently in-house are good.
And the longer it goes on, and the more game results that come in, the wild card standings kind of start taking shape a little bit. The more give me 4 weeks of JT in the infield. Just go get him. Give me 4 weeks of JT. Muncy comes back. You platoon them both, because it sounds very much like they are expecting Muncy back.
At some point, yeah.
They are if they needed to shut him down again, they would have. He's been taking ground balls. He's been swinging a bat. Obviously, setbacks can happen. Barring real setbacks, give me 4 weeks of JT. You move him to the bench once you need him there. Your bench becomes so much better. You get a guy who's been there before. He can play. It's not a great third base, but I can tell you what, it's way better than whatever Miguel Vargas can do.
And it gives you better. It gives you a good at bat off the bench
all the time
in the postseason if you need it.
Just the longer this goes on, the longer I see lineup cards with guys that are, hitting OPSing in the fives.
That bottom four.
It's so bad. It's uncompetitive. And this team is too good to have so many non-competitive
Yeah.
roster spots. Just go get JT. He's not going to be expensive. It just it's infuriating to watch. It really is. There's no reason this team should be this bad. And you look at the Padres roster. I mean, even their bottom lineup still guys are OPSing in the 7s. And I know some of them went on Linsanity runs. Like Kyle Higashioka has been incredible for them. Same one like Donovan Solano. But you're telling me the Dodgers can't do that? But to your point is none of those options are in-house.
No.
Not to tease it too much, but Outman is not that option.
Yeah, let's say, the best part of what we're doing here, we haven't even gotten into our overreactions yet. This is us just talking about the last series, but a little bit the last 2 series. So, guys, stay tuned. Spoiler on that. I'm going all in on Gavin Lux and this experiment they keep running out there. But let's talk about the latest in the injuries, because one of those guys that's been a part of the low OPS crowd, even if he's overall been pretty damn solid in selective spurts. Jason Heyward, of course, now out with the knee injury. Dodgers, as we already said, did dodge a bullet in that situation. Left knee contusion. This is the latest as of about 20 minutes ago. No structural damage, so he's expected to miss 1 to 2 weeks. If that comes from Dave, maybe that means 4 weeks. Maybe that means a month. We don't know. And maybe it also means when he comes back, he doesn't have a job because they made a move at the trade deadline, because now Dodgers making some moves internally. Welcome back, James Outman. He is back with the Dodgers because, again, Jason Heyward is going to the injured list. It probably doesn't end up being an extended stretch. Last night he did seem worried in his post game, but this is the situation. You got James Outman back. What, in your opinion, what are some reasonable expectations for James Outman, who isn't even in the starting lineup in his first game back?
For me, good defense. He's a glove first guy. At least Pages can go into right field where he belongs.
Love that.
That's huge. The longer Pages has been in center field, the more it's clearly obvious he can't play center field. And if they want to platoon Outman, I'm here for it. I don't know who you play in center if you have an Outman platoon, because then maybe Pages goes back to the center. It's not going to be Teoscar with Heyward down. Reasonable expectations, low 200s batting average, maybe runs into 1 here and there. I mean, if he can OPS in the high 6s, low 7s, I would say that is exceeding expectations for me. I don't love Outman's swing profile. It's not great. Honestly, actually, more than anything, if he can start taking his walks again, get that on base. If you're hitting 215, 216, if you're on base can be low 3s still with that average, I can live with it. But he needs to drastically cut down on his strikeouts. Yeah. With occasionally run into 1. I mean, you're looking and hoping and praying for a Max Muncy profile. But profile, not production, just profile.
Yeah, I mean, he spoke with Jeff Spiegel of Dodger Blue last week, 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. The numbers tell you Audie's doing better. He's feeling better. And one of the things he told Spiegel was, hey, you know what? I got into some really bad habits, and then they just really kept growing and getting worse and worse. So it's one of those situations where maybe that however long it's been, 3, 4, 5, 6 week respite at AAA, the change of scenery, maybe that helps him. Maybe that gets him back on track to where more, we're probably not going to see, April last year, Outman is not that's not his game, but also not middle of the year James Outman. There's a middle ground. There's some sort of middle ground there, but I agree. I don't know that it's going to be an 8 OPS type of dude. I don't think that's in his bag. And that's, if we're looking internal, I think the best version of this team does have James Outman in center field. But that's internal. The team can get a whole lot better if you're looking at a Luis Robert and hoping that you bring him in and he is playing on a good team, contending for a championship, contending for a postseason spot, not just contending to make it through the season so he can, get all of his money and move on. Like, maybe he comes here, maybe it helps, but yeah, Outman's not the answer. Heyward's not the answer in the long run.
Nope.
Pages is fine out there if he's one of the guys for sure, alongside Teoscar Hernandez. But yeah, they need one more body that can be a guy. We need a guy that can be a dude in the outfield, and they need a guy that can be a guy on the infield until some of these guys come back, or get Gavin Lux the hell out of here.
Just go get JT, man. Just give me Justin Turner. I mean, he's old man JT, but God, I want his at-bat quality more than anything at this point. I can't stand watching rollovers. I can't do it.
Getting there soon. We're getting there real
soon. I know.
Oh.
I didn't go.
We're getting there real soon.
Getting there, yeah.
Max Aldana in the chat. Good to see you in here, Mike. Says keep the faith in Outman. He had 23 dingers last year, guys. Yeah, and he's had 9 dingers at AAA since he went back to AAA. I think there's something to his game. Again, the best version of this team has him in the outfield, playing closer to what we saw in his rookie of the year, or runner up.
Yeah, I think he got third. I just think personally he's best as like a 4th outfielder. He's a backup center fielder,
or in a platoon or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think he's an everyday guy. It's just unfortunate that with J-Hay going down, you really don't have a center field, because like ideally you would love an Outman Vargas platoon, but if Vargas is in there, unless Pages is going to keep getting run in center field, which I would prefer he doesn't, you don't have a center fielder. So
yeah. Michael Correa. Mike says Tommy Pham.
I don't know if Tommy Pham
I don't know that he's
center.
Well, no, not center, but if you're not going to get. I don't think this team ends up getting elite defense in center. I don't think they get it.
Fielder. I don't know, because there's only one center fielder on the market.
Yeah,
unless it's Kevin Kiermaier. Which
somebody mentioned that earlier in the chat too. Scott says AF's guy will be someone like Kevin Kiermaier. Where if you're going elite defense somewhere, if you have it there and at shortstop, I do feel pretty good if the plan is to leave.
508 OPS, man.
Never mind, I'm out. I'm completely bailing on it.
No way. His best year OPS wise was back in 2017.
The guy who was playing shortstop, he's a pretty fucking good outfielder. The Mookie Betts dude.
They're not gonna. No, he needs to play second. They need to make him. He needs to
trade for a second baseman. He can go to. You restart it again in 2025. They need an outfielder. This was always one of those ripcord pull in case of emergency options. If they need an outfielder, they have one that has 6 Gold Gloves in right field, playing second base.
But they don't have a center fielder still. Like, you're gonna have Pages play center field?
Like, come on, center.
Man,
I've seen it.
You know for a fact, Game 1 of the NLDS is gonna be James Outman all over again. The ball is gonna bounce straight off of Pages' glove. Some dude's gonna go from first to third, and we're gonna be ripping our hair out. We know exactly. This team needs a center fielder. It needs a bona fide, or at least a Gold Glove outfielder. That's why if Ian Happ's available, he doesn't play a lot of center, but he has a Gold Glove left fielder. He has the range to play center. So somebody like that, as bad as Lou Bob's been offensively, as long as he doesn't have to throw home when the game is on the line, he plays a really good center. I don't know. This team needs a center fielder.
How about this? Shirt says, the Dodgers make me drink. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm pretty sure somebody already made that shirt.
That first piece of merch for the All Dodgers podcast.
Patent pending. I think this is how you do it. A couple more quickie notes. As soon as he was here is as soon as he's gone. Nick Ramirez leaves the Dodgers. Option back to AAA. Gus Varland lives. He's no Ricky Vanasco, but Gus Varland, he's back with the club. The Dodgers get another fresh arm ahead of this 3-game series. Gus Varland going against the Brew Crew, the team that took him from the Dodgers in the Rule 5 draft last year. He made his Major League debut, did not stick with the team, came back to LA, got some opportunities with LA. But hey, you know what? Players love beating up or trying to beat up on old teams, so that's a thing. Not much to add with that. They changed out the 13th dude in the bullpen. That's about it. The big
before we
go ahead.
Before we move on, this is from Fabian Ardaya. He's got some quotes from Dave that are worth, because we were just talking about that.
Okay.
According to Fabian, James Outman will play some center field against righties. That's expected. Dave Roberts said Andy Pages will still play every day. He will just play both center field and right field. So it looks like we're to get that platoon that I kind of hinted at. Miguel Vargas will log some more playing time in left field in spots. Thank God. He also opened the door to Vargas potentially being a third base option. He started taking some ground balls there again.
That's big.
So,
Dave, I'm just saying, my conversation with Dave Roberts this week, I think it made him start. They made him start looking at internet again, looking at the internet, looking at Twitter, looking at X, and then he's like, "Oh, some of those fans have some pretty good ideas about what to do with this guy who was playing third base for the majority of the start of his pro career, which is not very, very long." But I saw somebody, Jack, saying you guys are overthinking this way too much. Yes and no, because where this team is at right now it's a real fine line in a short amount of time to be able to put together a championship club. Like failure, an NLDS bounce again is not an option for this team. They cannot lose, particularly in the NLDS. But this is a team that needs to make it to the World Series at the bare minimum. And there's just a lot of problems. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of concerns with needing guys to come back and be healthy and play at the level that we expect them to play at, which we already talked about a whole bunch on Tuesday. So it's not even nuance. It's like there is no yes or no, cut and dry, black and white sort of thing. It's these are all the problems. Like it creates this spider web. It's the tree of life, but it's the tree of pain for the Dodgers or something like that. With again, you need to really upgrade. Because with somebody like Outman, let's say he does get a longer run or something like that. He just doesn't. Every good World Series team, they have somebody who comes up out of nowhere and does things you don't expect.
Yep. I
don't feel that on this team. I think you have a bunch of guys that do things that you expect them to do, but when they don't, it's just like, oh, well, Freddie's swing wasn't right now, and Mookie just had a bad series. We'll get him next time. That can't be a problem again.
Noah Ortega with a 199 super chat has an answer. He's on board with you. Mookie back to right. Bring up Lipsius. Put him at second. Lipsius, guys, if you've never watched Lipsius play defense, it's not pretty. Vargas is somehow a better defender. To your point, though, Clint, I wonder. I've always wondered this: when you have teams that are as top heavy as the Dodgers, does the bottom of the lineup just kind of go, we can show up. They'll figure it out. I actually don't think that happens, but it always kind of creeps into my mind. Does CT kind of get there and go, yeah, I'll take this one and Mookie will pick me up? I mean, I actually don't think so.
I don't think so. I think everybody's there is they're trying to pull on the same side of the rope. They're all trying to, do their part and play their role, blah, blah, blah. Generic Dodger talk.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody there phoning it in. They, even if it is, a couple of dudes that are just there to play defense, do your job really good, try to find a way to get on base, and then, Jack says we need a spark plug in the postseason like a Rosarena. See, that's a guy that has that it factor. I saw somebody else in the chat mention Eddie Rosario. Rosario went into God mode that postseason. The Dodgers had it once with Corey Seager in 20. You need to have that guy that out of nowhere can just put a team on my back and say, let's go, bitches, I got you. And I don't feel that with any of these dudes. Hopefully Shohei can maybe be that guy. We've never seen him in the postseason. Thank you, Angels. But
I mean, I think he can. At least you saw quite a bit of it in the WBC, and a lot of players. I mean, Miggy Rowe especially came out and said that the WBC means more to him than the World Series because he wanted to win one for his country.
He's never been in the World Series for what it's worth.
Never been in the World Series, but it's still. I'm not saying Miggy Rowe is gonna phone it in because of A lot of people like my JT idea. First of all, thank you.
I did.
But
When you brought it up, I did as well. You know this.
I don't think Miggy Rose gonna like phone it into the World Series. What I think it shows though is that the WBC brings out that competitive nature in players, and Shohei went off in the WBC in the biggest moments. You know, he did what, no offense, Clayton Kershaw couldn't do. Came in the ninth inning, got Jeff McNeil, who was good at the time, Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, Jeff McNeil, Mookie Betts, and Mike Trout down in order. So I think that competitive fire will be there. We've already seen it from him. Yeah. I think Teoscar will also be that guy. You've seen it in the brightest moments.
I take back what I said, and I agree with you on that. When you mentioned the Miguel Rojas, Miggy Rowe, I could taste that. I can see him being that guy who just out of nowhere throws up an Adam Kennedy series or whatever, like a 3-homer series or something like that. And
if Miguel Rojas hits 3 home runs in a series, I will run around this block naked.
Guys, somebody clip this. Chat, clip that.
If he hits 3 home runs in the NLCS, I will run around my block naked. Like,
who filled in? Charlie Culberson. He had that. Yeah, he had that insane series when Siegs was down. What was that? Was that 17? That was 17.
It was 17.
It's crazy. That team, as good as that team was, they made it to the World Series without Corey Seager in the NLCS. Michael Carrillo backing us up, saying this team has some damn needs. Matty Man 5 Dodge says where they're at is an early exit. Good to see you back in here, Matty Man. I don't know how I caught wind. Thankfully, Diane pointed it out, but Matty Man somehow got blocked or muted on the channel. So when I heard that, I fixed that as soon as I could. So good to have you back, Matty Man. I don't know. YouTube is usually. It's like I never block anybody. That's just not my thing. And plus, we got moderators and.
I put them in timeout.
Hell yeah.
Unruly.
Unruly.
Heathens.
So blame Kevin. So let's talk for a second, though, about the Wrobleski thing, just to meet the quota. I know absolutely nothing about this kid. I know he's a Dodgers draft pick. He's had some pretty good success. Probably not ready for prime time yet. He's only had, 2 starts at AAA? But this is where the Dodgers find themselves without a Walker Buehler that can get the job done, without a healthy Yamamoto, without a Dustin May, without a Clayton Kershaw. This is where they find themselves with the Justin Wrobleski left-hander. What do you got? Do you have anything you can tell these people about Justin Wrobleski?
Not a ton. I'm mostly because I wasn't expecting him to make. I thought River Ryan would make his start. I'd make his MLB debut before Wrobleski. Wrobleski's 23 years old, southpaw, like you said. He's got good minor league numbers. He's got a 108 WHIP, 79 strikeouts in 78 innings. So you get a strikeout an inning. If I remember correctly from last year, he's a big stuff guy. He's not like a Landon Knack, but he's got some serious. One of his off speed or one of his breaking balls is the Dodgers fell in love with, and they taught him to throw a fastball, stuff like that. I don't have a ton on him.
I'm just very Dodgers draft pick.
It was
Gavin Stone to a T as well. Nick Mastrini.
He was 11th round draft pick in 2021. So I would encourage everybody who wants to know more about Wrobleski. I think Jeff Spiegel did an interview with Wrobleski, and then for all scouting and all minor league stuff, go talk to Tim Rogers at Dodgers 2080. He's got the inside track on everybody.
Yeah, and also, of course, Casey Porter at Dodgers Daily. Those guys got you covered on prospect stuff. Love those dudes. Noah Ortega saying he has a higher ceiling than Knack, but a lower floor. So one of those guys that maybe
sounds about right.
Maybe coming up to the big league level at this point in time, maybe that helps him. Maybe he learns a little bit. A lot of it just being around the guys, even if it's for a day or two. So hopefully, they bring him up and they let him kind of hang around before making a start. If they already know that he's making his major league debut, I'm sure he's going to be around with the team pretty soon. But I'm looking forward to that.
Everybody will love this. This is from Bruce. He routinely hits 97 on his fastball.
That's fine.
He's a southpaw that can throw like that. That's pretty good. He has a six pitch mix. Say that 5 times fast. 4-seam slider, change, cutter, 2-seam curve. I imagine they'll tell him to simplify that. Maybe just go 4-seam slide, change curve. Just drop the two seam, drop the cutter. Don't even do that. He does walk a little bit more than you'd like. 26% strikeout rate, 8.3% walk rate. This is all off the Just Baseball website. They also do good stuff. Walker Buehler is also a frequent guest, although maybe not right now. He was in the offseason.
Yeah.
But good command, good placement, not a big strikeout guy. Like I said, one strikeout an inning in AAA probably gets you closer to like a Gavin Stone type in the major leagues. Which, I mean, if he could
get us some outs,
yeah,
get us some length.
But that's the thing is he's coming up for a spot start on Sunday. If he gets through 5 innings, I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
which doesn't help the bullpen at all. Like,
well, what it comes down to,
they're not going to push him.
What it comes down to right now, like in this is the game. Like game 1, you need a dog outing out of Tyler Glasnow
against a Brewers team who's scrappy. They're not.
Yep.
They have decent OPSs, but they're gonna kill you death by 100 cuts right now.
Yeah.
They're doing singles and doubles or manufacturing runs. They're not doing a whole lot of long ball. And if Glasnow's stuff isn't where it needs to be, which it hasn't been the last 2 starts, again, they'll work his pitch count up too. So this is a series that I'm really scared for. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like that off day on Monday can't come fast enough.
The off day, travel day, and then hey guys, it gets real simple after that as well.
Yeah,
they go play the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah,
so we'll talk more. We'll preview the series in a few minutes, but I think it's about time to get into overreactions. One last note here in the kind of whatever we want to call this updates part of the show. Kenny Chung brought it up as well, so I appreciate Kenny because I had it in my notes. But bad news down on the farm as well. I don't know if there was an official update yet, but Kyle Hurt, Dodger fans love Kyle Hurt, made the big splash, big impression last year. We were hoping a lot out of this kid this year, but he goes and throws gets his first 2 outs, throws 2 more pitches in his start last night, and exits shaking his arm with what looks like an arm injury. So that's a devastating loss for the depth of this organization, because Kyle Hurt, I think if he was healthy for the majority of the season, he's somebody they would have already been relying on. But right now, Hurty's out and he's hurt, so that's tough. And hopefully it's not anything serious or major. But if we see him again this year,
official designation yet. And if it's the worst, he's 26.
Yeah.
He's 26.
This was supposed to be his year. This is the year he solidifies himself as a bullpen arm.
He just turned 26. Like, you could see him when he's 27, but losing a year when you're 26 is pretty bad. But it's no designation yet. Maybe they just got ahead of it. Whatever Dave likes to say in those situations.
try to nip it in the bud a little bit. All right, well, it's overreactions time. I guess I should get into mine and talking a little bit about it already. And we've talked a little bit about it already this week as well. Guys, it's Dodgers. I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you. This is, friend to friend here. The Gavin Lux experiment, it needs to end. At this point, entering play on Friday, .216 batting average, getting on base at a .269 clip, no slug, no power to speak of in 231 bats. That would be fine. That would not be an issue if he can find a way to get on base, if he can do his job at the bottom of the lineup, get some hits, get some knocks, keep the line moving, but he can't do that either. We were told the line of demarcation of us learning about Gavin Lux and them kind of making a decision was going to happen at 150 at bats. He's now had 230 some odd at bats. So at the 150 at bat mark, thereabout, he was hitting 213 with a 560 OPS. In 84 at bats since, he's hitting about the same. He's at 216 and a 554. I forgot to type it into my notes. Long story short, he's not good at hitting major league pitching right now. And it hasn't gotten much better. since the 150 at bat mark. So there are guys at AAA. We've talked about them a little bit here already in the stream. There are guys at AAA who are playing to try to make it to the major league level. There are guys playing at AAA that are doing well and deserving of an opportunity at the big league level. Maybe they can help, maybe not, but they deserve to it. They've earned this chance, this opportunity to at least get a look at the big league level. They deserve a shot. And not just Andre Lipsius. We've talked a lot about Lipsius, and he's been great with the bat. The defense, sure, it's probably a little bit of a struggle. Still, I'm okay with that. If you can get a bat in there, you figure it out. You could work your way around at least just getting a bat in the lineup with Lipsius. Little bit of a streaky guy, but again, he's earned it. He's earned this opportunity. He's earned this shot. Reward him for rewarding your team for him sticking around when he was DFA'd and then released. He could have been, a free agent, but he chose to stick around to your club. He's like, I want to play there. I want to be that guy that maybe can help. Anyways, I've gone on too long with Lipsius. Another guy, Austin Gauthier, who has played really solid infield for the Oklahoma City team at AAA, and he's got a nice enough bat. OPS just under 800, hitting 272 at AAA so far this season. He's another one of those guys we've talked a bunch about this week, myself and Scott and Kevin as well, talking about the older prospects in this organization. I think, Kevin, Gauthier, he's a, 26, 25-year-old prospect? Like, he's at a point where he should be playing. He's earned an opportunity to at least, get a cup of coffee. And
25.
And, yeah, 25 years old. My mother, God rest her soul. I just want to fly, and I want to get him on a plane from Oklahoma City to Los Angeles because he can't be worse than Gavin Lux, can Austin Gauthier. Cody Hosey, another one. He's a former first-round draft pick for this Dodgers organization. Fell on hard times in his minor league career. Found something this year, putting the pieces together. Still, like I was expecting the production.
He's about to be 27 too.
Yeah, and he's another older that's an old ass prospect. But we've seen it work. Former Dodger fan favorite Casey Blake didn't start getting regular playing time until he was 29. Justin Turner didn't start getting regular playing time until he was like 29, 30, 28, whatever it was. Some of these guys, they can come up, they can be buried. Christian fucking Walker didn't start getting regular playing time until he was in his mid to late 20s. Cody Hosey may have taken him some time, but he's figured it out. 304 average on the season, 835 OPS. Tell me he could not be better in the lineup than what Gavin Lux is getting you right now. Another couple outfield dudes, give them some opportunities. I mentioned them a couple months ago. Drew Avans continues to hit well. Ryan Ward continues to hit well. Both different profiles. Drew Avans, more of a speedy guy. Ryan Ward, he's got some pop. He's got some bomba. Somebody, if they're going to look at Miguel Vargas as an infield option again, hey, you need another outfielder to help you out with some pop off the bench. Those are both guys who are putting in the work, putting together the production that says they should be playing at the major league level over Gavin Lux. And the whole section here, the whole segment is overreactions. It's tongue in cheek because sometimes it's an apt reaction, it's an earned reaction. This is just the facts. Gavin Lux should not be playing at the big league level right now. And I don't think I'm not just saying this to be a dick. The numbers say he's not earning it. The numbers tell you that maybe he needs a blow, as the team likes to say, to go play at AAA, get his head back on straight. I love one of the things that Scott Gearman said this week on the channel, like the fact that Lux's yips and struggles uprooted this whole plan and moved a 31-year-old right fielder from second base immediately to shortstop because they're so high on Gavin Lux. He's not earning this runway. Lux is not earning this runway. I don't think this runway they're giving for him is good developmentally, even as old as he is now. And I think I'll throw another number at you. What is it? He's another 25, 26 guy. Yeah, I understand he's coming off of an injury. I understand, you shouldn't lose your job to an injury, but you should lose your job to poor performance. And if he's playing well on the defensive side, that's fine. They could find somebody else to do that. But I want to see him maybe he goes to AAA. maybe he finds something, maybe just being away from the bright lights of Los Angeles, the big league level. Maybe it sparks something, maybe it fuels something, maybe he feels good and he figures it out and he comes back and produces again. But he has option years remaining, and the Dodgers need to use it. Gavin Lux, I'm sorry. Maybe you're this year's Miguel Vargas, who was the second baseman last year all the way up until the All-Star break, and then very shockingly earned, but shockingly, like abruptly shocking, they sent him out. They optioned him, and then we never saw him again last year. I'm hoping that is something the Dodgers consider doing with Gavin Lux, because I'm sorry, it's time. Thank you to come to my TED Talk.
Thanks for the TED Talk. No, I agree. It's funny enough, he actually has like positive. He's a positive WAR player. It's only 0.3, but he's got 0.3 WAR. I don't know how. I mean, it's mostly defense, but
yeah,
it's tough when every time he comes up to the plate, you pretty much know what's gonna happen. Is he's just gonna roll it over right to the second baseman, and we can't have that. He doesn't use the opposite field at all. He can't get any lift on the ball at all. I don't know why. I have no idea why I'm not saying that hitting a ball is easy, but he can't do anything really besides hit it to, down between first and second base. Yeah. And unless it's a seeing eye grounder, it's an out every single time. And it's a rally killer. That specific profile is a rally killer because if you have a man on first, it is a tailor-made double play. If he could even just go the other way with it, that'd be huge, but he can't. And I'm not saying it's easy to do that, but he hasn't even, like, if you've never looked at Gavin Lux's spray chart or lack thereof, go to StatCast, do it. It's ugly. There's not a lot to left field. There really isn't. There's a lot of stuff that lands at the outer edge of the infield dirt. And the things that you usually see that are like center field or whatever, they're those weird end of like their end cap little flare jobs into the outfield. That's what I've seen. Because, I mean, we talked about it here on the channel too. Like it's a violent swing, but it's not a very, it's not a very sound control swing. It's not under control. Great way of putting it. Yeah. I mean, like even if he kept two hands on the bat during his follow through, it would at least look better. But when he's releasing it with one hand, he's getting the end of the bat, and you look at he's like in the first percentile in barrel rate. You kind of look at that swing and go, yeah, I get it. He doesn't have a lot of barrel control. Yeah. But to your point, there's a lot of guys you'd like to see. I don't see them optioning Gavin Lux. What I end up thinking he's involved in a trade package. I think they just kind of get him out of the organization. I think they need to anyway. I think when Mookie's back, I think they just want to stick him at second so Lux doesn't have a place on the roster. I don't see them throwing him at AAA. They're going to keep giving him run. For what it's worth, at least I complain when this doesn't happen, but at least he plays good defense. At least it looks good defensively. He can give you that. So, maybe another organization gives him a better profile. Who would want Lux? Diane Schroeder. A lot of teams would want a Gavin Lux.
I saw somebody else in the chat saying maybe he just doesn't profile as a player who should be in LA. Maybe just somewhere where the lights aren't as bright.
A lot of teams would want Gavin Lux. Traditionally speaking, your second baseman isn't supposed to hit very hard anyway. It's just magnified a lot when you have a roster like the Dodgers, and when the goods are going good, everybody loves it. When things are going bad, it's under a microscope. And Gavin Lux, who would want what team names? Milwaukee, Chicago. Yeah, like a lot of the NL Central teams.
Jack said no to AAA for Lux, yes to the White Sox for Lux. So Southside, come on down.
I mean, he's defensive upside for sure.
Yeah.
Milwaukee could do with that profile. They just sound like a pairing of him and Adames. That would just be elite center field. I know the Cubs want to move off Nico Horner. They could reset with Lux. I mean, he's cheap. He's under a lot of years. Like, guys, you have to think about that. Like, he's got quite a few years of team control. He's not expensive. He plays good defense. If he randomly runs into a few balls, any team would like that.
Yeah.
Or at least most teams that the Rangers wouldn't because they have Marcus Semien.
Yeah, and if
the Padres wouldn't because they have an infinite number of infielders. But a lot of teams like a controllable, young player that plays good defense. I mean, good Lord, even the Dodgers would kind of kill for that because all of the guys we've named can't play defense. And that like if Austin Gauthier could play like really good defense, he'd already be on the big league club. Same with Lipsius. He'd be at the big league level if he could play defense. Yeah. Miguel Vargas would be an everyday at bat if he could play defense. So defense will keep him in the major leagues. He's going to be in the major leagues for a long time. So it's probably not going to be in LA.
Yeah, I agree with both sentiments of it. I don't know what teams really actively want him, but at the same time, he's definitely, he's not a marketable player, but he's a desirable player. That's the word.
He's at every organization. If you walk up to an organization and go, give me an ideal second baseman, like we want a good defender with upside on the bat. Not every team has a Marcus Semien.
We've seen him hit. We know we've seen him hit. The problem is right now, and this is what I was saying, before with the whole idea of sending him to AAA, it's like if it's something mental, maybe just getting that good feeling and finding something that clicks for him, maybe that helps. Maybe that happens at AAA. And yeah, we know the numbers will be artificially inflated because it is the PCL that the numbers just automatically get inflated. Look at Diego Cartaya, who's all of a sudden a very good hitting prospect again since he's gone to AAA.
Let's go. Yes.
But good feelings. It's about the good feelings. It's about the good vibes. Lux is a big-time vibes guy. It's an opportunity to help him get fixed. Another thing that really is tough with Lux is he's not what am I looking for? He's limited. He's only a second baseman. And if we're reading the tea leaves, the Dodgers already have a second baseman for the next 8 to 9 years or whatever's left on that contract. It's Mookie Betts. So Lux doesn't have a spot. Mookie is not going to be playing shortstop for the Dodgers in 2025. Maybe some spot starts here and there, but he's not going to be their guy. The Dodgers are going to sign a shortstop this offseason. It's going to be a Willy Adames. It's going to be somebody who is a free agent. It's not going to be Mookie, and it's clearly not Lux because they can't go into another season saying Lux is going to get that spot. So the limitation as well. He's not a Dodger. I think I saw somebody, or it was you. There it is. Pika Peep says, problem with Lux, he's just not Dodger material, saying this the smaller market. But he's not Dodger material because Dodgers play a little bit of everywhere. And if he's limited to second base, that guides him even more so out of L.A. But let's play around with the whole idea of Mookie moving back to right field again just for funsies. And if Lux can go to AAA, find something that clicks, bring it back to him, carry that good feeling, then he can plug back in at second base. And that's where we get back to the whole thing. It's like, if X, then maybe Y. But Z is also a possibility. I don't feel very confident in Gavin Lux being in the lineup. If he wants to play second base, that's cool. We can get a designated hitter, and he could just play the defense for that hitter or something. I don't know. It's trouble.
The other thing is if, and it's asking a lot, but if the other 8 guys on the roster were hitting well, you can absorb a Gavin Lux playing second base. The issue also lies in the fact that you're relying on Chris Taylor, Kike, to also, and Jason Heyward at points, to also bat along with Gavin Lux. So all of a sudden, it's not one black hole, it's 4.
Yeah.
That's the other. So there are ways of masking what Gavin Lux is doing. And, if the rest of the roster, is hitting to the back of the baseball card, as Dave would love to say, then this isn't an issue, but it is. If this was, this was the 21 team where everyone was going crazy and we didn't, we could handle 1 or 2 black holes. Yeah. I don't think any of us would really care because we would just be happy that Gavin Lux was giving us good defense. But because there are other holes on this roster, the most movable piece besides DFA and Kike and Kevin Biggio is trading Gavin Lux because Chris Taylor's contract's not going anywhere.
Are we done with Lux for now? There's nothing we're going to do.
I feel bad. I also want to put out there, I harbor no ill will towards Gavin Lux. I was very much on the wanting him on the roster, giving him a lot of run, but like you mentioned, it's been long enough, and it's just not working.
This isn't me trying to be a dick. I do truly, in my heart of hearts, think that him going to AAA will help his career. or being not at second base or being just not in the lineup in LA right now, I think it helps his career because the longer he just keeps kind of, floundering and treading water and hearing assholes like me on the internet talk about him, it's just more detrimental to his mental health of it. But the reality is, he's one of the problems, and he's one of the more clear problems when it comes to offensive production in the lineup, at least at the moment. It's a very clear spot. Third base has multiple guys that are offensive issues, so you can't pick on one guy. But Kevin Biggio, I would send him to the moon yesterday. Chris Taylor, if it's not my money, I would have DFA'd him a month ago if you want to try to put together the best possible 26 dudes on the roster. This show is going long, but it's a fun one, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying hanging out. We still have like a whole mess of overreactions to get to. We still have to hear from Kevin on his overreaction. Maybe we shouldn't have gone as hard in the paint as we did early in the show, but should we get into some overreactions from the fans and then we'll bring you in? Look at that. We got the scene going up here. Let's first hear why not. We'll have it's a new caller. Let's see. We'll have a new caller lead us off on today's. It's not Monday overreactions, it's Friday overreactions. It's Dodgers overreactions after they lose 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. So let's hear caller number 1.
Clint, tis J-Ray. What happened these last 2 games? That was embarrassing. Well, hopefully that losing streak doesn't continue.
Stuck the landing. That's a buddy. That's a buddy of mine who's also a supporter of the All Dodgers YouTube channel. You guys can call in, by the way. You guys can have your own voice. I see Kenny Chung in the chat giving us some crap about our Lux thoughts and him being either untradeable or whatever it is. Kenny, call in. Are you a member? I think you're a member. But YouTube members, they can call in. You guys get access to the voicemail hotline. Patreon supporters, you get access to the voicemail hotline. I want your fucking thoughts, people, so we can talk about them. But what J. Ray said there, Mr. Reyes, I agree. It was embarrassing what happened the last 2 games and that final game against the Diamondbacks. We already talked a bunch about that, so we'll move on. Let's hear next from the one who's usually more positive, but I'm very intrigued to hear what Diane has to say. So let's hear some Diane.
Hey, Clint Nation. It's Diane. What the hell is going on here with our Dodgers? Why did Christian Walker have like 4 home runs and like 6 at-bats? After the first 2, don't you think you should have walked him? I'm looking at you, Dave Roberts. There is no excuse for this. Suddenly, we have no bats and no pitching. And for those of you who think we are going to the World Series, we won't even get out of the first round looking like this. So Andy Freeman, get ready to break that checkbook out at the trade deadline. That's all I've got. Join Patreon and subscribe and smash the like button. Go Dodgers. Bye.
Appreciate Diane calling in. Some more love for Christian Walker, as usual.
We're going to have to start calling him Daddy at a point. Jesus Christ.
So was that Juan Toribio talking about him being the new daddy of the Dodgers? We've already talked enough about that series. Maybe I should have moved these up higher. My bad. You know what?
No, I love it.
I'm part of the show. As the showrunner, I should have put people's call-ins sooner. But let's hear now from Hammy 0023 Hamilton. He's got some thoughts.
Hey, this is Hammy 0023 from Long Beach. Yet again, another Dodgers failure. Playing down to a team that they're 9 games ahead of, but no, they can't put together hits. They can't do anything. But here come the Diamondbacks or any other sub-500 team. This is their World Series, and we fail it every single time. I'm tired of it. We need to do something about it. I don't know what needs to change, but this is not working. We've spent so much money to do what? To just float out there? Yeah, so much going into the playoffs and first-round exit if this does not change.
We appreciate that. There's some spunk to Hammy today. Yep. I like that. He had mentioned last week, too, I think. He had called in and mentioned the playing down to the competition. Hopefully, hopefully these Dodgers play up to the Brewers because
that's what I'm hoping for.
Let's see. Let's see. We got Noah Ortega calling in as usual. Appreciate Noah. Let's hear from Noah for a bit.
What's up, guys? It's Noah Ortega, as you know, and I gotta say, I'm freaking frustrated. Like, come on, freaking Andrew Friedman, just break up with your bestie or whatever. Gavin Lux, he's no good. They said they would evaluate him after 150 at-bats, and it's been way longer than that, and I have seen zero improvement. Just break up with him already. And on top of that, we need to get a starting pitcher that is ace level if we want to win this World Series. This World Series is very, very winnable because we have the tools to get what we need. If Friedman doesn't do anything at the trade deadline and we stick with what we have, we are definitely not going to win. I remember last year and the year before that, after losing at the NLDS, Andrew Friedman said that it was an organizational failure. Believe it or not, I blamed the players last year and the year before that. But this time, though, if we lose, I'm going to blame Andrew Friedman and Brandon Gomes. Other than that, though, guys, have a good one. And do keep in mind that Austin Barnes is probably not going to be in the playoff roster, so I wouldn't worry too much about him. Have a good one.
More spark, more fire from Noah. Usually, I think Noah kind of he trends more positive. People frustrated after losing a series to the Giants and then following that up, losing a series to the Diamondbacks, the team that swept the Dodgers in the NLDS.
I mean, it definitely kind of ends up being a little bad taste in the mouth after last year's NLDS. Yeah. So, and then you never like losing to the hated ones. So, it's definitely a rough set of series to lose sequentially. You know, if it was the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, no one would care. But, you know, you throw the Giants in there and all of a sudden it's just like, what are we doing?
Kenny Chung, I also agree with you on that one. The one thing I don't agree with on Noah's call is that Barnes won't be on the roster. He will be. At that point, he's even more used. He shouldn't be in a game. Like, he is just there.
He should never. Yeah. It's. You need a backup catcher.
He's there because you need a backup catcher. Exactly.
Yeah. Realistically, if the Dodgers put the right roster together, they shouldn't have to use any of their bench players. All of their bench players should just be in case of injury if they put the right roster together. And Barnes is 100% like break glass in case of emergency. If Will Smith goes down for whatever reason, then you at least have a guy that I guess can call a game but do very little else.
All right, we got one more call, and of course it's from our friend Richie from Devore. And I got a feeling Richie had some things to say.
Yeah.
Looking at the transcript here, he had some things to say. So let's hear from Richie for a while, and then we're going to get into Kevin. I want Kevin's overreaction, but let's hear from Richard Flores.
Hey, Clint. No joking today. I'm pretty pissed off. You know, if I knew anything about Major League Baseball and how to coach a team or run a team or manage a team, I wouldn't be killing bugs for a living. Yeah, I'm a pest control technician working 60 hours a week, but I do know the game. Been watching it and playing it for years, and I do know this. What I saw these past 3 days was absolutely embarrassing. We are not the effing White Sox. We are not the Oakland A's. We are not the bad New York Mets. We are the Los Angeles effing Dodgers with the lineup with stars galore that even Hollywood can't believe how many stars that are on our roster. I don't care if Mookie Betts is hurt. I don't care if Clayton Kershaw is hurt. I don't care that Dustin May is hurt. I don't care that anybody on our roster is hurt. I don't care. The San Diego Padres, who have half of their team on the DL, have been finding ways to win, and their young pitchers have been stepping up. Can we, for the love of God, figure out a way to throw to Walker? All the home runs have come off tomato cans in the late innings that we put out there, or our starting pitchers who couldn't pitch their way out of a paper bag for the last 10 days because they can't figure out a way to go beyond 5 innings. Do your job. And every time that Walker's hit a home run is because we're throwing it right down the middle. Kevin Biggio can't believe how easy of a pitches those were. It was absolutely embarrassing to have a guy come in here, steal our lunch money, drink all of our beer, and give us a wedgie, and then leave the ballpark with a big smile on his face. We got clowned. We got absolutely clowned. And we don't have an answer for him. We don't have a game plan for him. I think it's an absolute joke. An absolute joke, and there's no excuse for it. So F the Dodger Stadium parking lot, F the D-backs, F the poor Dodger pitching, and F the ghost runner. See ya.
Yeah, I think that's worth a couple of those.
Yeah.
Richie, bringing the spark, bringing the flame to Overreactions Friday. Look at that. Hey, listen, he's one of the nice fellas on here. If the Dodgers can piss off Richard Flores that much, I'm scared.
It was a tough week. It's a tough week. It just, you can't go down like that.
But guys, I appreciate everybody that called in this for this episode of Overreactions, Friday Overreaction, Dodgers Overreactions. Trying to do more of them. If we can get more callers in, we could probably do little mini-series throughout the week or something like that. Maybe even during some post-game shows. We got, the world is our oyster. But if you guys want to call in, join YouTube members. You get access to that. You could join us on Discord, have the conversation. It's $5 a month. Same with Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg, $5 a month. You get some perks like joining us and hanging out with some people. The real perk is the friends you made along the way. But also the real perk is, you're supporting the channel, and that's cool, We'd appreciate it if you consider it. We appreciate you either way. Now, Kevin, I'd appreciate to hear from you. Some thoughts, some overreactions here on this Friday.
Well, my overreaction is going to kind of be the same as it was earlier. This team needs to trade for an outfielder or a bat. I didn't think they needed to go here this early, but they probably need a pitcher at this point too. With Yamamoto not coming back necessarily anytime soon, he's just starting to throw. We don't know what he's going to look like by the postseason. IB Strokin with the gifted 5 members. Thank you, IB Strokin. Everybody make sure who got a gift, say thank you. They need a bat and a pitcher at this point. I wasn't sold on necessarily needing a pitcher, but with how taxed the bullpen's been with just not getting enough length from the starters, they need somebody who can give them actual length, who can be a quality starter, whether it's a Jack Flaherty like Scott mentioned the other day. I'm on like a Tarek Skubal. I still really like Garrett Crochet. He can give you length. I know the innings thing is scary, but he can still give you length. I watched him pitch 6 innings against the Dodgers the other day. Like he can do it. And he could be a good bullpen piece. They need an arm and they need a bat. I mentioned earlier when you're bottom 5 or some combination of Jason Heyward, Kike Hernandez, Gavin Lux, Chris Taylor, and Austin Barnes. It's just not. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for this team. That's not fair to guys like Shohei, Freddie, Mookie when he gets back. You can't tell me that should even be the worst the Dodgers can do. Those should not be a combination of guys that Dave can ride into a lineup card. I know Kenny Chung wants Flaherty and Randy. I'm here for it. Give me Randy, give me Flaherty. Give me a pitcher. Give me somebody who gives some length that you're not too worried about. Give me Paxton with upside. I love the fact that James Paxton can give you 6 innings. I'd love it if it was 6 innings of 2-run ball, not 6 innings of 4-run ball. So give me Paxton with upside. Give me Randy, postseason guy. Sure, yeah, love it. I like Randy. If Ian Happ's available, big on Ian Happ. But they need a bat and they need a pitcher. I would have not said this earlier, but with the upcoming schedule, with the lead only down to 6.5 games, if they don't make a move, that lead is basically going to diminish. And I don't want to end up being in a deadlock race with the Padres at the end of the season, because if we're already talking about pitchers getting burnt out, if we're talking about overtaxing a bullpen, the closer that NL West race is, the more that bullpen's going to get taxed, the more those starters are going to get leaned upon. So if you make a trade now, keep that lead at a healthy distance, then we can do what we really only have cared about since the start of the season, is getting to the postseason healthy. But if you keep up doing what they're doing, don't cut a trade, you're talking about taxing bullpen arms that we don't have, that we can't tax. So it concerns me a lot. Don't wait till the end of July. Do it in the next week or two, just to keep that lead comfortable. Because if people want to talk about Glasnow reaching an innings limit, man, that innings limit is going to look really scary if we're in a 2-game race with the Padres in September.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it be a 6-game race. But like I said, that lead could dwindle pretty quick here.
We've seen it. And the thing is, we've seen this recently. The 2021 Dodgers trying to keep that NL West streak alive against the out-of-nowhere San Francisco Giants. Sold the devil for that 1 year to win the NL West. Then crap immediately. Yeah. Like, we saw how much that beat up the team. It beat up Urias. It beat up that's a bad words to put together.
Yeah.
It was not good for his pitching. It was not good for Walker Buehler and where he was at. Also for Buehler trying to win the Cy Young that year. Max Scherzer, another guy. Kershaw coming back in September when he wasn't ready, and the forearm given on him. We've seen it. We've already seen this story unfold in 2021. We also saw it unfold last year where they only went out and got Lance Lynn, who, by the way, just gave up another homer. Fully agree. I wasn't, like I said on Tuesday, I wasn't as in on them needing a starting pitcher, but that was a month ago. Then Yamamoto went down, and then everything just started spiraling from that point on. So go out, do your dang job, Brandon Gomes, Andrew Friedman. You don't want to hear the media. You don't want to hear overreactions again here on this show. If you get bounced in the first round or even in the second round, that would be bad. It would be bad for business.
Yeah, I mean, and they have guys with the capability of going deep, but they need more. Like, we can't just Wrobleski making spot starts isn't gonna cut it this late in the year. When Kershaw comes back, great, man. If he goes 5 innings, that's amazing. That would be, exceeding expectations if he can do that when he gets back. So it's not like we can wait for Kershaw and he's just gonna save this rotation. He's not gonna go 7 innings probably at all.
Yeah.
So, you're relying on Glasnow, who people are already worried about pitch count. Gavin Stone showed he's human, but maybe he has to be the stopper, which he can be. And then what? So you're just hoping on James Paxton not erupting every 5 days. This team is too good for that. They need another starter. Yamamoto was that guy. He's not coming back anytime soon. They need somebody else who you can reliably go, you'll give us 6 innings at the bare minimum of competitive ball. It can't be 6 innings, 4 runs. It's got to be 6 of 2, 6 of 3 tops.
Yeah, you mentioned Yamamoto and that fear. Kenny Chung saying, I'm scared of Kershaw, but not in a good way. Keeps going to that through line we've had in all the content this week of you can't. Yeah, there's a shit ton of talent. There's a bunch of talent, boatload of talent on the injured list. But if we're sitting here 1 month from now and they didn't really do anything at the deadline because they're banking on all these guys coming back and staying healthy and producing, that's scary. That's scary to me. I mean, it's good for business here on YouTube. We'll have a lot to talk about. The overreactions will probably triple, quadruple. We don't even need to talk during a show. We'll just hear from fans bitching about the team. I'll feel like Dave Vassay, listen to some Dodger talk, and hopefully everybody keeps a sound and stable mind while we're talking about it. But, Dodgers are they have a nice little lead. bad things happen during a season. You go through these streaks, you go through these lulls, but sometimes these lulls are kind of indicators of, future issues, future troubles, future things we should be worried about. And hopefully they've learned enough. This front office has learned enough in the last decade that, kind of just not being okay with sitting on your hands and waiting for the market to come to you. The market's not going to come to you anymore.
Not anymore.
Especially the trade deadline with everybody, as everybody, kind of in a playoff hunt. Everybody but the White Sox feel they're in some sort of playoff hunt. And, they're not going to come to you.
Mario Landaverde, you don't believe Kershaw can still be effective? That's not what I'm saying. I absolutely believe he can be effective. It's just not going to be for length. It'll be 5 innings tops, most likely, especially when he first gets back. This team needs length, which we're not getting at all. And you need guys who – and it's not – every pitcher is susceptible to erupting and having a bad outing. What you can't have is 4 to 5 pitchers that at best can only give you 5 innings. You can't do that. And when, Glass now can give you the length, great. So can Stone. Cool. You got 2 guys. James Paxton, the longer he goes into a game, the more I'm worried he's going to give up 6 runs.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's a hodgepodge of who's who, arm can we call upon. And Justin Wrobleski, man, at best on Sunday, he's going to give you 5 innings.
Yeah.
And that's going to tax your
3.
bullpen.
I'm seriously looking at 3.
It's just it's not good enough. That bullpen's going to get taxed, and we're worried about bullpen arms already. And you look at what people love what the Phillies are doing. What makes what the Phillies are doing great is those 3 guys. Those are their horses. They'll give you 6, 7, 8 innings every single time.
Suarez is a dog. Nola, he's a dog.
The Dodgers don't have 3 guys that you can reliably say will give you 6 innings. Kershaw, when he gets back, I will be shocked if he gives you 6 innings. Maybe by the end of September, he'll give you 6 innings, but definitely not when he gets back. So it's not like I don't think he can be effective. The Dodgers need quantity on top of quality.
Yeah, same. Well said. I feel exactly the same way. I think Kershaw will be fine when he comes back. I think if he was able to still put together a 2.4 ERA with a shoulder as injured as it was last year, he can get outs especially against bad teams in the regular season. But look what happened game 1 of the postseason. A team that was hungry. This Diamondback team knows how to get under how to best this particular Dodgers team. They know how to do it. We saw it this series. We saw it last year. And if Kershaw's your number 2 entering that postseason, this postseason, it's not good. Things will not be good. If he's number 3, probably also not good. But the show went doom and gloom. You could tell by our tones in here. Hopefully these boys go out and sweep the Brewers. It ain't going to happen. But storylines, let's look at this Brewers series real quick, and then we'll get out of here. We're already coming up on an hour and a half on a show that I thought we would be in and out in like 45 minutes. But, we had some things to say, apparently, you and I, Kevin. But
it was a rough week. Storylines
for your Dodgers. Number 1 storyline for me, survive. Just survive. You can't. No more injuries. If Lux has another 2-hit game, don't buy it. Do not buy it, because he's had a bunch of those and then just goose eggs all around. It's kind of rough. Not where the team is at right now is not where you want them to be against a potential postseason opponent. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't want them seeing your best stuff. I would rather know how we're going to match up against somebody like the Brewers if there's an off chance we see them in October. Same with the Phillies, and Dodgers still aren't going to be at anywhere near top strength against the Phillies coming up. But the big thing, we need to see if Tyler Glasnow can be this ace, can be this Cy Young Award, what does Doug call him, Siler Glasnow? We need to see. You got to be a stopper against the Brew Crew tonight, motherfucker. You need to prove that you are, you got that dog in you, that you could be as good as Tyler Anderson or somebody like that. Coming off a rough enough outing in San Francisco, didn't have anything. Kind of mixed results, much like the Dodgers, mixed results of late. Then it's Paxton, and then the Wrobleski game. So, do you have a good gut feeling about this? What's your prediction?
My good gut feeling is Aaron Savali's been fine, but he hasn't been great. So maybe the Dodgers can get an early lead for Tyler Glasnow.
First start with Milwaukee after being traded to from Tampa, by the way. So
yeah,
could go one of both ways. Yeah, one of two ways.
You know, as much as I just kind of went in on Glasnow, he has gone at least 6 innings in 4 of his last 5 starts. It's just really that Giants won. The pressure is on him. So this will be a good test for him. It's a postseason opponent, and they need length out of him. So let's see what he can do. I'm really not all that worried about his, personally, I'm not worried about his innings limit. I do trust him when he said earlier this offseason that it was all kind of one injury that he kind of fixed.
Yeah.
I'm here for that. I do trust him in that. I'm not super worried about the innings limit, but this is a start where, again, if he explodes, if he erupts tonight, this series is over because Paxton's not going to give it to them. You know, he is not DMX, and Justin Wrobleski, you have no idea.
Yeah, the only thing
the
only thing I like about that Wrobleski's game is that he's going up against Dallas Keuchel, the ghost of Dallas Keuchel, who somehow is still in the league.
Are we getting? God, tomorrow's a loss. We're getting Freddie Peralta.
Freddie Peralta versus James Paxton.
That's just a loss.
Fox game. It's a Fox game as well. 4 p.m. start here in LA. So more potential for embarrassment. Although it's funny, of any of these games, for some reason, I feel something about the Paxton game. So maybe that means they're going to do very good, or it's going to be absolute trash.
The Brewers are swinging good bats right now. That's what worries me about the Paxton start more than anything. Is with his propensity to walk a couple batters, if he issues 2 walks too many, it's just the way they're putting up at bats. I don't know if you guys haven't looked, go look at the lineup the Brewers put out. It's a lot of guys with over 700 OPSs. Yeah. They take walks. They don't strike out a ton. It's a good Brewers lineup. This is not your 2021 Brewers who, they pitched and didn't hit. The Brewers can swing the stick. So just, don't be shocked if they they hang a crooked number in an inning.
It's my hope. My not so hot final take on this, or final not so hot take, is maybe the Dodgers, as injured as they are, and as much as our friend Richard doesn't want to hear about the injuries, he doesn't care. That's not an excuse. Maybe they play up to their opponent this weekend, these Milwaukee Brewers. The Dodgers they've historically played the good Milwaukee Brewers very good in recent years. So you're hoping for the best.
Guaranteed to win.
Yeah, and if not, Monday's going to be a shit show here. So get them voicemails loaded up on Sunday. I might, if the series goes sideways enough, I might say F it and do a post game on Sunday. So I'll be around. We'll be around. We'll all be talking. We'll be talking in the Discord server as well, guys. If you want to join us, patreon.com/realfrg, or join on here, YouTube members. The button's right below me somewhere. I think it's right below Kevin's little the what do you call it, the kids table there, the
kids table,
kids table for Kev. Noah's being positive. Noah Ortega says calling a sweep. Which way?
Yeah,
which way?
Oh, God.
I'm gonna stay positive. You know what? F it. I'm gonna say. Jenny says we need more likes. So if you guys hit the thumbs up button right now as everybody's signing off, the Dodgers are going to sweep the Brewers. But you got to hit the like button. We got to get to enough likes on this video. If you're watching the video afterwards, sound off as well. I like to try to respond to the comments as well to non-stream watchers. But hit that thumbs up button for the video as well. And the Dodgers are going to sweep. That's just the way it goes. Get 150 likes, the Dodgers sweep the Brewers. That's what I'm going with. It's not going to happen, but that's what I'm going with. So, all that said, did you drop a prediction? I don't remember.
No, I think they win one game. I think they take the Dallas Keuchel game. I just looked at his BREF page.
It's bad.
Bad.
It's been bad.
It's been bad.
A minute.
So, maybe they take the Dallas Keuchel game. I'm not super excited about tonight's game. I don't know. Something about them never giving Glasnow run support and how bad the offense has been recently. And just, and then I think Freddie Peralta shubs. So.
He's been known to. He's been known to, especially against this Dodgers team. But,
Yeah.
guys, hopefully we get to be positive on Monday or Sunday, whenever the next time we're back. Pay attention to the social media. I'll let you know. I try to let you know whenever we're going to go live. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the comments, the questions, hanging out with us here on this Friday evening now. Thank you so much for the super chats as well. I got to plug. I didn't plug it enough, probably. If you missed Wednesday's edition of Dodgers Territory, Alanna Rizzo and I welcome Dodgers manager Dave Roberts to the show. And then, the Dodgers started playing even worse, so maybe we're the problem. But check it out on the Dodgers Territory YouTube channel. Subscribe over there if you haven't as well. We'd appreciate it. I want to thank our YouTube members, our Patreon members here for hanging out with us, hanging out in the chat and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for contributing to helping make this show happen or making it better, all that kind of stuff. You guys are freaking awesome, and I love you for it. If you want to, support the channel, go ahead and do it. I'd appreciate it if you guys, if you're not already, join us. What else? Shout out to the mods for doing a kick-ass job in the chat. Shout out to this guy for bringing it today at the kids table. Follow him. That is at Skinner7Kevin on the X. He's a good follow, and I'm sure this weekend, if you're watching games, he's probably going to be a little insane on the Twitter. So give him hell, man. Give him hell. If I'm telling people to follow you, you really got to bring it now.
True.
I'm Real FRG on all of the social media things. Follow me on there if you wouldn't mind. I'd appreciate it, or don't. I'd rather you follow me here. This is more important. All Dodgers is brought to you by BetOnline. Use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for the 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit up to $250, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.